To 7-Minute Disney Tips, a video series where I hopefully, just 7 minutes at a time, give you some tips for making your Disney vacations more enjoyable. Disney World, for the most part, certainly a lot of these apply to Disneyland. We do talk specifically about Disneyland in a few videos, as well as Disney cruising. And today we're going to talk about sleeping in. You're on vacation, right? Vacation's about relaxing and sleeping in and enjoying your time off. You can do this. You can. Maybe you shouldn't. If you've looked at some other videos, you probably know that this is not my approach too often. But I will admit, as I've gotten older, my wife's gotten older, and our kids have gotten older, my touring plans have changed. And I talk about this a lot, especially if you're one of my clients as a small time on the side travel agent. I do help a very small group of folks book their trips and plan their trips. And we talk about this. What do you want out of your vacation? And if what you want is to sleep in, then there's ways to plan for that for sure. You just have to have a little bit different expectations, and it takes a little bit different of a plan. So you absolutely can. You can sleep in. Now, it does work better at some parks than it does others. There is sort of a concept of the best times to visit the park in terms of keeping lines shorter is first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening. Now, last thing in the evening is a little less predictable than first thing in the morning, but it still can work to your advantage. The other problem with the evening plan, not really a problem, it's just something you have to think about, is Disney can sometimes play tricks with the wait times, right? They will let you get in line right up until the park closes. So the park closes at 10 p.m. At 9:59, you can get in the line for Toy Story Midway Mania, or it's Toy Story Mania now, at 9:59, even though it may say 90-minute wait time. They maybe don't want you to do that, so the sign that says 90 minutes is probably trying to discourage you from getting in. It doesn't mean it's going to be a walk-on. It doesn't mean it's only going to be 5 minutes. It might, but it probably doesn't mean it's 90 either. The challenge there is you don't really know. Right? Early in the morning, you have a pretty good idea that they're updating wait times regularly, and they're probably pretty accurate. If anything, they're going to be low in the morning, and you're going to be able to count on that. You're not quite sure what it is in the evenings, right? And sometimes people will stay later. It can depend on what the weather did earlier in the day, whether people are staying later or not. So if you're going to sleep in, you do have to be thinking about what it means to tour the parks late at night versus the early morning strategy. What you need to do is just plan your fast passes accordingly. I touch on fast passes quite a bit in other videos. It's a big part of touring. It's a big part of effective planning is making those fast pass reservations far in advance, 60 days if you're staying on site, in fact, or having your friendly travel agent do that for you, which I've never done, ironically enough. I have always made my own fast pass reservations, and that's always an option, even if you are working with the travel agent to save you money and to do some of the other things. But a good travel agent will book those for you as well. They'll be the one that gets up at 6 in the morning and get those for you. But you just plan accordingly. You plan for an 11 a.m. arrival or a 1 p.m. arrival, depending on exactly how much sleeping in you want to do, and just know that you're going to arrive at the heat of the day. You're going to arrive at the peak crowd times, and be ready for that. So have those fast passes ready. Have those most popular fast passes ready to go at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, for example. Work in some of the things that don't see big crowds gather. For example, at Hollywood Studios, you can typically hit Star Tours with no more than a 15-minute wait, as long as the Indiana Jones show or the Frozen show didn't just let out and dump into those. And again, I'm always hesitant to mention specific shows because those do change, and Frozen's relatively new at Hollywood Studios. Indiana Jones show has been there a long time, and so I don't know how long this video will last me referencing the Indiana Jones show, but there are rides at every park. Mickey's PhilharMagic, and I say rides, attractions. Mickey's PhilharMagic is one. Hall of Presidents is another at Magic Kingdom that will typically just have the wait time until the next show starts, and they can be they're very enjoyable. And those are things that you should do. Country Band Jamboree is another one on that side of the park. So there's certainly plenty of things where the ride times don't get too crazy. But for those that are going to, the mountains, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Peter Pan, things like that, just get those. Prepare your fast passes for that. And then later in the evening, know that some of those wait times may be artificially inflated. The other thing to think about if you want to sleep in is how important are the parades and the fireworks to you? Because during parades, which typically are late afternoon, evening. Certainly the fireworks are at the end of the night. Um, if those things are important to you, that's great. But if they're not, it's maybe even better, because that gives you an opportunity to, again, take advantage of some lower wait times, despite what the wait time signs may say. The problem is that's never a guarantee. Like, it says 60 minutes, and you're thinking, well, hey, the kid on the video, right? The old man on the video said that might not be right. It might be less than that. Well, you don't know that for sure, and so you do have to know that it could be 60 minutes. It's a bonus if it's less, but that's a little bit of a challenge with nighttime. But during parades and during fireworks shows, the crowds will be down, and so take advantage of that. That's part of that concept of, if you're going to sleep in, there's some different things you need to do at night. Now, if you've been at the park all day, you were there first thing in the morning, and you're still there, you can still take advantage of those things, obviously. But if you're going to sleep in, there's just some things that you need to do a little bit differently. So you absolutely can sleep in. Just plan accordingly and set expectations accordingly, and you'll still have a great time. The thing to avoid is, don't plan to sleep in one day and then try to be there super early the next day, because you do need to stay late. If you're going to sleep in and it means you're going to be there late, nothing wrong with that, especially if you do that all the time, every day. Like I said, it works better at some parks than others because of the tiered fast pass system that can play a little bit of a game with the way that works. But yeah, absolutely, sleep in, enjoy your vacation, get your rest. You may need it after a long day at the parks in the heat of the day. But always remember, when you do it well, planning is part of the fun. Thanks for watching.